Yo, what's going on, my friend? This is your boy Antonio, Entrepreneur Millhouse. I'm with my brother Gerald, the founder of the Rise of the 1%. We back again, top of the year 2023. So I just want to interview my brother, ask him a few questions. And so with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and dive in and get this party started. So let's go! So yeah, man, what's good, Gerald, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm great, blessed.
Amazing, man. I'm glad to hear that, man. So yeah, bro, it's an honor and a privilege, man. We back again, 2023, man. And so, man, we just gonna do this thing interview style, and I just have some questions that I would like to ask you. And I'm quite sure, man, the viewers today will definitely get some valuable insights from what's going to be shared based off of the questions I ask and your response to them, man. So with that being said, man, so one of the questions that I want to ask you, number one, is what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so my favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur is the ability to create. Entrepreneurship is all about ideas and creating. And so that's the thing I love the most about entrepreneurship. If you're a person that has like an imagination and you can see things that may not necessarily already be there that could potentially solve a problem or what have you, then you can be an entrepreneur. And so that's one of the greatest aspects of being an entrepreneur to me. Is even with the Rise of the 1%, it all started off as an idea. It started off as an idea of a conference call, right, of us interviewing some of the most successful entrepreneurs across the globe, those that were rising into the top 1% of those that were already in the 1%. And then after doing those interviews for over a year or so, we decided to turn it into a full-fledged company and even a community where we're helping black entrepreneurs pretty much rise into the top 1%. And so that's what entrepreneurship is all about to me. It's about being able to create ideas, being able to innovate, being a creator, and being a value adder. And another thing that's fun about entrepreneurship to me is it's fun. Right? It's fun. I hear so many people all the time that have like 9-to-5 jobs. I'm not knocking the 9-to-5 job at all, but some people that have them, they pretty much like hate what they do. Like I talk to some people at times on weekends, like on Saturdays, right? And they may be having to work their job and they can't wait for that Saturday to be over, versus me, when I'm doing any type of work on Saturdays and at times I don't even really feel like work, I actually enjoy what I'm doing. It's fun to me. Creating and innovating is fun to me. So that's what I love about entrepreneurship.
Wow, man, that's big. Wow, being creative and just being innovative at the same time. I love it.
And also creating, like I said, an added value to people's lives, right? Creating ideas that can help with changes in people's lives, right? Or even businesses.
Wow, man, I love it. Wow, man, I love your point of view on that, man. You really spoke a lot. So yeah, man, let's go in, let's continue. So my second question that I have for you, Gerald, is what has been your most satisfying moments in business?
Yeah, I would say my most satisfying moments in business has pretty much been when the business has been successful. And what I mean by that is, for instance, one of my first businesses was an entertainment company, right? It was actually a Hard Hitters Productions Incorporated. And so we struggled in that business for some years. But once we finally pretty much figured out the blueprint on how to be able to make myself successful as an artist and then also make many of the artists that I was managing successful, it became very fun. It became very exciting, right? And that was very satisfying to me, even with club promotions and party promotions. When I did that as well, the same thing. You know, we struggled for some time. I would say literally over a year, attempting to get parties to become successful in Atlanta. But after we actually figured out that blueprint as well on how to actually make a club be very successful and have people come out and enjoy themselves at a lot of our different events and functions and just nights out on the town, it became very satisfying and fulfilling for me. Because I'm like, wow, we went through this journey of really figuring out how to become successful with throwing these events. And now we figured it out and we're having success, but not only that, the people that's coming out and enjoying themselves are really having a great time, right? And that's fulfilling for me. And then it was the same thing when we started the Rise of the 1%, right? I always share with people, it wasn't peaches and cream in the beginning. Now, we didn't have any major struggles in the beginning of starting the Rise of the 1%. I mean, we created a 6-figure business within a year. But what I will say is it was still fulfilling knowing all the work we put in the beginning of really getting the company going. All those long days and long nights, over time actually paid off. And not just paid off for us, but many of our clients. We created client success stories within the first year of launching the business. And that was very fulfilling. And I would say satisfying as well, seeing the smiles on a lot of our clients' faces that got results and changing their lives and businesses. So that's been very satisfying.
Wow, man, I love it. I love it. Gets no better than that, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So question number 3 that I have for you is, what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so the thing I enjoy most is pretty much similarly to what I was saying in the beginning, is the ability to be able to create in terms of, ideas, and be able to have ideas that solve people's problems, right? Help people experience transformations in their lives, or even for us, businesses, right? And also being an entrepreneur, being able to do things on your own terms, right? Being able to work when you want, being able to work with whom you want to work with, whether that's building your team or whether that's even working with different clients, right? Having the ability as well to be able to pretty much call your own shots, like, when you want to go spend time with your family or when you want to go vacation and just enjoy yourself with family and friends. So it's the ability, too, to be able to have freedom because you're doing things on your own terms. And I love that as well in reference to entrepreneurship.
Wow, man, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm quite sure a lot of people can agree with what you just shared with that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're going to move it along. So question number 4 that I have for you is, what entrepreneur discoveries have you discovered to keep you focused and productive in your day-to-day schedule?
Yeah, so I would say, for one, planning your days a day in advance. Right? So there was a guy named Jim Rohn who was real big in the personal development space, and he said that people used to ask him, when should you start your day? And he said, as soon as it's finished. Right? So what he meant by that is basically planning your days a day in ahead. So many people get up like in the morning and they don't even know what they have to do for that day. They have nothing planned out. They plan in the morning. And that's not what you really want to do. You want to plan a night before. Because for one, what happens is your subconscious mind, when you go to bed that night, is working, right? And those things that you jotted down that you need to do the next day, a lot of times it's running through your subconscious mind, whether you know it or not, even while you're sleeping. So you get up in the morning, you're ready to go at it, right? Another thing, too, that I would say as well is having a morning success ritual is real key, right? So what I do in terms of my morning success ritual, and I also work with several of my clients and even my team with their morning success ritual as well, is the first thing I do, just sharing with you my morning success ritual, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, right, is I do prayer, right? That's the first thing I do in the morning, right? Of course, after I groom myself and things of that nature, but I pray, right? Then after prayer, typically what I do is I go to the gym, I work out, and I work out typically around 6 days a week as well. And I love to work out early in the mornings because it gets your blood flowing. Early in the morning, it wakes you up. Also, health is wealth, of course, right? You want to be healthy, okay? It does you any good to make a lot of money if you're not healthy, or be extremely successful in other areas if you're not healthy. So that's key. right? And another thing too, it's a good start to your day, right? It has you feeling good, and when you feel good, you do good. And a lot of times too, when people put work out to the end of the day, a lot of times they never get around to doing it, right? They procrastinate. So that's why it's good to do it in the mornings. Then after gym, pretty much I typically go home, and then from there, I typically drink a protein shake in the morning. I actually intermittent fast myself. I don't eat any heavy meals until around about 1 o'clock, so that helps with productivity as well, so you're not very sluggish. So I usually eat fruit, protein shake, I shower, and then after that, what I would normally do is I do morning devotion as well. So I do study the Bible. I do forms of personal development. So I read 10 pages of a book or listen to 30 minutes of audio. And then I also review my goals as well in the morning, right? These are things we do in terms of morning success ritual. And then after that, myself, I come to our office here in Atlanta. And when I get here, I'm ready pretty much to work, right? And when I'm working in terms of productivity, whatever I'm working on at that time, that's all I focus in on, right? So if I'm doing strategy session calls with potential clients, that's all I'm doing, right? I remove all distractions. That's what you really got to do if you want to be extremely productive as an entrepreneur, business owner. You got to remove all distractions. I'm not scrolling social media. I definitely recommend not doing a whole lot of scrolling social media, not doing a whole lot of checking the emails throughout the day. You can check emails once or twice a day. In terms of social media, unless you're doing direct outreach in terms of prospecting and networking with people, or you're posting content, or you may post lifestyle every now and then, or if you have a Facebook group, post it in there, right? Or if you're in some type of coaching program and you're checking in on the group in terms of the coaching program and things of that nature. If you're not really doing that, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you don't really need to be spending a whole lot of time on social media if you really want to be successful and rise into the top 1%, because 1%ers don't do that, right? They remove a lot of those distractions, right? A lot of random chit-chatting throughout the day as well with friends at times. And what I mean by that is nothing wrong with talking to your friends, but a lot of people talk a little too much to their friends throughout the day, whether that's through phone calls or text messages back and forth. Like eliminating a lot of those different things and those distractions can help you be a whole lot more productive. And the last thing I would say is pretty much planning out, you know, your lunch, your dinner, when you're going to do it. I recommend doing it, you know, every day, pretty much at the same time, especially when you work in your business. And then, of course, you got your times throughout the day where you're servicing clients, where you may be having to train or work with your team. But just having all those things planned out, and when you're doing those things, focus just in on those, nothing else, right? If you're going to spend family time, let's say on weekends at times, plan those out. Or times to hang out with friends and enjoy yourself, plan those out. Vacations, plan them out. You want to plan everything out, right? Don't do a lot of sporadic type things and random type things when it comes to your life if you really want to be successful and be extremely productive as an entrepreneur and a business owner.
Wow. Man, you done said a mouthful. And I know somebody who's taking a look at this video got something out of it. Because one thing I can share before we move on to the last and final question.
And I got one more thing too after that I'm going to share before you move on to, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Like, everything that Gerald just shared, he's living it. How do I know? I've been knowing Gerald for 10 plus years. We've been rocking with the Rise for 6 years now. And I've seen it like all this whole time since we've been in business together. Like everything he's talking about with being able to focus, planning your day a day in advance. Like he had to share that with me. Yes, it took me a minute to understand it. But once you really stay consistent and you apply it, I promise you, you're going to start seeing a major shift in your life, your business, and just different aspects in general. And one thing you did mention as well that I always hear a lot of successful people talk about is really working out early in the morning versus the evening. Because that alone helps you, like you say, with your blood flow, everything is good. And then not only that, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good and you be productive at the same time while doing it. And so one of the things too as well that I can say that I admired, and one of the things that I've taken into consideration is really valuing your health as much as you want to create wealth and bring in revenue, because at the end of the day, you just can't make all the money in the world and then your health is not intact. Like, what is it to have all this money and your health is out of line, and you can't really enjoy the money because your health is not aligned with what you're doing? So it's very important to make sure that you put in these workouts, even if it's 30 minutes jog or something. Like, you don't have to do no intense workout like Gerald, but you know, he goes in, you know, on the treadmill. That's his thing. But one thing I will say, man, like, really apply these to your life, and I promise you, you're gonna see a major shift and a difference. And we'll love to hear from you and see how it worked for you. But yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say, bro. I know it's a lot, but yeah, man, you spoke on this a lot, man. It's always good to just hear that again,
Right.
just getting a refresher, man, because a lot of people don't understand that. So yeah, man, go ahead and speak on what you was getting ready to say as well.
Yeah, I would say another thing too in terms of productivity is if you're making, let's say, over $10,000 a month, right? I would definitely as well recommend you cut out a lot of maintenance tasks. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, during the summer or fall months, right, you shouldn't be cutting your grass, right? One of my mentors and coaches told me several years ago, he said that if you're over the age of 18 years old and you're a business owner or you're an entrepreneur and you're cutting your own grass, you're robbing a teenager of a summertime job, right? He always said, and he told me this was years ago, it changed my perspective on a lot of things. He said, if your time is worth more than $10 an hour, why are you doing $10 an hour work, right? So you got to learn how to eliminate and delegate, right, in terms of productivity too. So, like I said, maintenance type stuff around your house, right? If you're washing clothes, you may want to dry clean, right? Like, you have to start to do things to pretty much get more of your time back so you can be more efficient throughout the day, right? Cleaning up your house throughout the day and stuff. You can get a cleaner, right, if you're making over $10,000 a month. And same thing in terms of cooking. You don't have to be doing all that cooking. You can do meal prep or get a chef, right, if you're making over $10,000 a month. Okay? These are the type of things you really want to do as well if you really want to be extremely productive.
Wow. Man, you done said a mouthful, man. Woo! I know y'all got some value from this. But yeah, we're going to move it along. So this is the last and final question that I have for you, Gerald. And we can definitely wrap this up. So the last question I have for you would be, what important rules have you learned about business that will make you more successful that you wish you knew back then?
Yeah. So I would say the first thing is you gotta, for one, be an avid learner. That's what I wish I would have did a lot more in the beginning stages. What I mean by that is you gotta read, right? You gotta educate yourself. Personal development books, books around specific skill sets you're looking to get better at, books on business, biographies on successful people. I recommend reading them, right? Also, investing in courses and coaches. I wish I would have had a coach a whole lot earlier in my journey, right? Because one thing about coaches, a lot of times, they can help you fast track your success. If you're looking to get from one destination to another destination, let's say you're here in Atlanta and you're looking to get to California, right? It's different ways you can get there. You can walk, right? You can run, right? You can take a train. You can drive a car, right? Or you can take an airplane, or you can even fly private, right? A lot of times the coach is going to be flying private, right? So with that being said, it's a lot of different ways to get to a destination, and not saying the other ways don't work. It's just how quick do you want to get there? And not only that, get there with someone who has already experienced some of the things that maybe can help you pretty much pivot so that you don't have to experience some of the frustrations that they may have had to go through along the journey. Right? Can save you a lot of time, energy, and money. Right? So a coach is definitely key. I wish I would have joined a mastermind a whole lot earlier, which is I joined one over the last year. changed everything in reference to my life and business and the impact that I've been able to have on my clients. Mastermind is definitely key, right? So I would definitely say that. And another thing in terms of, another rule I would say in terms of business that I believe a lot more African American entrepreneurs and business owners need to understand is in the beginning stages, if you really want to get into that top 1% and be successful in entrepreneurship and business, you can't have all these different businesses, all these different products and services, all these different niches, right? You cannot do that in the beginning stages if you really want to be successful because your energy is getting sucked in so many different directions. So you're pretty much the jack of all trades but the master of none. That's pretty much what it is. If you have all these different businesses, all these different products and services, all these different niches, all these different offers, that's what you are. Right? You look like a flake in the business world if that's how you operate yourself. And I'm not saying that, you know, to be disrespectful at all. I'm saying that to be completely transparent. A lot of my friends that are in the top 1%, right? They look at people like that, like a flake in the business world. They're not really serious about being successful in entrepreneurship and business, right? You want to focus in on one core offer, right, that solves a huge problem. It's all you need in beginning stages. You literally can grow your business to 7 figures plus with one core offer that solves a big problem. And then if you want to diversify then, you can do it. So I would say that's another rule in terms of business. Also, another thing I would say as well in terms of a rule in business is really as well being just as serious as you are about marketing and sales for your business, be just as serious about your client success in the same way. Because in today's time, I see so many of these influencers and stuff like that on social media. Everybody's just focusing on marketing and net sale. But their product is horrible, right? Or service delivery is not up to par. Be just as serious about your client service delivery as you are about marketing and sales. And then the next thing I would say as well is understand if you want to go somewhere, right, go alone. But if you want to go fast, build a team. I see in the black community is so many solopreneurs. Never really getting the mold of actually building a team. Building a team around you of people who can pretty much come in and fulfill some of the weaknesses that you may have in terms of your business. Right? And not only that, you're giving other people an opportunity to grow with you, right? And grow with your company, giving them an opportunity as well to be able to feed their families as well. But also as well, it frees up a lot of your time, right? If you're the founder or the CEO, or both. Frees up a lot of your time of having to do every single task in your business and remain in solopreneur mode, which is extremely hard to scale that way. So you need a team as well. Those are some of the rules I would say in terms of being successful in business.
Wow. Man, that's powerful, bro. Man, that is so powerful, man. And, you know, just to speak on from my experience, I remember I was that guy all over the place doing multiple things. And it was like, it was so distracting that I couldn't even focus on that one particular task. But when I did started to focus on that one thing, like even when I had my Instagram marketing agency, that's when things started to flourish for me because now I want to focus on all these other things I was trying to do. And I really narrowed my focus down. And I want to say you recommended a book to me one time called That One Thing.
The One Thing, right.
And then by reading that book, it really changed my perspective because most people feel like you got to have all these different business ventures. And, you know, they say you got to have 7 streams of income to, you know, become wealthy. But really, if you just focus on one core offer, one problem that you're solving massively and a big transformation that you can help in the community, bro, I mean, things can really flourish and take off to a whole nother level. And people would think you have all these multiple business, but it's just that one thing.
Exactly.
Just that one thing, man. So I'm glad you spoke on that. And I hope somebody is really paying attention and listening to what he just said.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man. But that's amazing, bro, man. This has been an amazing interview, man. It's an honor and a privilege, man. Top of the year, 2023. And, man, we have so much more in store. I hope y'all ready. But anything else that you would like to say to the viewers, man, that's tuning in?
So pretty much, hope you got some value out of this video. Being you got some value, make sure you bang that like button, bang that subscribe button. Also, share this video around with anyone else you feel could benefit. Drop any comments below of your biggest takeaways, or if you have any questions or anything that was shared. And also, if you're a black coach, consultant, course creator, service-based business provider, and you're looking to scale your business to $20,000 to $50,000 a month in 2023 in under 60 days without paid ads, then it's actually going to be a link to a free case study. You can take a look at the case study. I'll dive a whole lot more deeper into how to do it. And with that said, this is Gerald Bass with the Rise of the 1%. Have a great day on purpose.